Well, anyway, so Kevin Feige, Marvel, Bob Iger, they're all absolutely just shocked, basically. They're like, oh my God, we produce garbage. Everyone hates us. Let's try and fix that. They're never going to fix it. Just as an FYI, before we go into any of this, guys, they are not going to fix this. They can't physically fix this. They're incapable of fixing this because they are financially incentivized to keep it going with BlackRock. They have ESG, DEI quotas, etc. They're not actually going to change any of this. They're only going to give the appearance that they're changing this. Okay, that's all that's going to happen. But if you look at it, it will remain exactly the same. But basically, what they're trying to do is use the strikes as a reason, as an excuse to be like, we're actually fixing Marvel. So this all came out as part of a Hollywood Reporter article. It says how Marvel is quietly retooling amid superhero fatigue. Now, I did a video on this myself as well, specifically this whole article, because it's actually quite... it's very revealing of what Hollywood Reporter is. So Marvel feeds the Hollywood Reporter through SEO and articles, and then making content on the studio, Disney, etc. But then a Hollywood Reporter feeds Marvel when things are bad. So there's this narrative that it's superhero fatigue. It's not superhero fatigue. It's dog shit movie fatigue. But this is what Hollywood Reporter is trying to do, is trying to lift it up. They're trying to raise Marvel up, get the narrative out there that it's just a bit of fatigue. They're going to fix it all. And you can tell that by how all of this is worded. I think that's pretty obvious. And it even says, the studio's golden... Oh, my mouse does that too often now. The studio's golden box office aura has been dented. They're not going to give up, says an insider. So this all is basically what they're trying to do. So they're trying to change a lot of stuff, a lot of things. So what's happening? A lot. So we've got... this is fascinating, by the way, just as an FYI. Agatha, remember that series that has been on hold for however long? They've only gone back for reshoots, haven't they? Of course.
Well, I think they're on their fourth iteration right now.
Yeah.
Well, they went back for reshoots again, just as an
FYI. Exactly. So it's like the third round of reshoots, which makes it the fourth iteration, as Culture said.
Yeah. The studio also... What is my mouse doing? For God's sake. The studio also quietly hired Eric Pearson to polish the script for Fantastic Four. So that still wasn't finished. They hired all those actors. They announced the actors. The script still wasn't finished. That's going to be shooting in summer in London.
That is the Kevin Feige way, though. Have an ill-prepared script, rush into
but it's also not good either.
Desperately try to fix it before they begin. Sometimes,
but it's also not good because this Eric Pearson is the guy who did Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow.
Yeah.
So terrible.
Wow.
Good. Great. That's still going to be garbage then.
They hired... Sorry, I just want to... I didn't mean to interrupt, just want to chime in. This is something that Script Doctor has told us before. It's very relevant to just this thing. That Marvel, they don't hire new, fresh, good talent from outside.
That's all the same
they
people.
Only hire the people that they worked with before. And they're all of them, every last one, an incompetent and an activist. And if they're not an activist by heart, they're pretending to be to stay employed. So it's same difference.
Yeah. And then we have this. They've hired Joanna Callow, who is the showrunner for The Bear, which is a great series, by the way. Would recommend anyone check that out. But she's going to be working on the script for the Thunderbolts. That's shooting in a couple of weeks. So what? So you still haven't finished that script, and that's literally going to be shooting in March. Okay, that's not reassuring by any stretch of the imagination. Goes to show what an epic shit show this whole company is.
That's tell us that nothing has changed without telling us that nothing has changed.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what I mean. The Hollywood Reporter is just running cover for them still. But this is another interesting one. So Marvel is getting rid of Kang. We knew that anyway, but they are essentially absolutely getting rid of it. Marvel dropped Majors hours after the conviction and is rewriting those movies, which will now either minimize the character or excise him entirely. The first of the new Avengers movies due out in 2026 was initially titled Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, but we'll be getting a new title to remove character's name. Those sources say that even before Major's conviction, the studio was making moves to minimize the character after Quantumania underperformed, grossing only $476 million. And then there's we're trying to get some showrunners because we never had showrunners before, which is just ridiculous. Like, why did you not have showrunners? Absolutely insane. And they say this: the focus is internal this year, says one insider, of all the tinkering going on behind the scenes. Executives are not calling it a reboot, not even a soft one, but more of a creative retooling. Nothing's changing. It's no secret that since 2019 Avengers Endgame, the company was asked to scale up. Amazingly, they don't actually throw Bob Chapek under the bus here, which is amazing. So they say they were asked to scale up to feed Disney Plus, first under Bob Iger, then Bob Chapek. Some of our studio lost a little focus, blah, blah, blah. This is all the nonsense that Bob Iger's mentioned before. It's never going to happen. And that's kind of it, really. But they say this: the dual writers and actors strike, while costly to Hollywood, ironically gave Marvel breathing space. And here's when you know that they really have no idea what they're talking about, and nothing's changed. It was able to reschedule its movies so that only Deadpool and Wolverine will be released in 2024, and only 2 series are going to be released. Other movies remain in the script stage, blah, blah, blah. So basically, this is all designed to give creatives some breathing room and give audiences the chance to miss the MCU just a little bit. One, that's what you fucking did with Star Wars. No one cares. Literally, no one gives a shit about Star Wars anymore because you didn't change how you made those movies or series. You literally did the same thing to Star Wars. Just you wait. Just you wait. Daisy Ridley movies will be released and it'll bomb. Just you wait. Breathing room, and it'll make people realize they don't need Marvel. It won't make them miss it. It'll make them realize they don't need it. Because then it will come out with the movies that they got scheduled and they're awful. So who cares?
Nobody's missing the crap.
No, they're not going to give up. They want to make something great. Yeah, but they can't. Thoughts?
Not with the people involved. Not with the people involved at all. And also, just FYI, because I know nobody here is watching Bad Batch season 3, which just dropped on Disney Plus. But they're starting
talking about it on Twitter.
Yeah, not at all. And because nobody cares, and they are tying in the sequel trilogy with this Bad Batch season 3, which happens and takes place before the very first Star Wars movie. So they're already setting up the connections with the sequels. They're just staying on that. And then here we are with Marvel. Nobody cares about the crap they're giving us. Nobody's missing it. Nobody's like, man, I'm really, missing the next Marvel movie, because it's been one flop after another, one piece of trash after another. And the people running it over there just don't seem to get it or understand. They had a good run from the first Iron Man movie to Endgame, but I mean, they blew it all, and now it's just garbage, and nobody cares about what they're doing now until they demonstrate a proven ability to make one great film after another. I mean, people are checked out of the MCU just like they are Star Wars.
No, Nick, you're wrong. We just need a bit of breathing space.
Right? Yeah. That has zero to do with it, you idiots. Oh, breathing space. Good God.
Oh, so insane.
So out of touch. They're just continue to keep their head in the sand and refuse to remove it.
Yeah. Go on, Culture. You got stuff to say?
I am not going to watch Bad Batch.
All right. What about Marvel?
Really?
Look, I'm not surprised. Marvel's been complete dumpster fire forever. I don't know that anybody's going to hear anything different than anything anybody else here said, other than, you're shooting Captain America film without a script right now. Nothing settled in anything that they ever do. And they went back to the table. Tom's joke is still the best joke. They had to reshoot 3 segments for the Captain America film, the Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. It's not a big deal. And nothing they do is ever finished. This Agatha All Along or Darkhold Diaries or whatever title they have this week is just, it's indicative of all of the other problems that they have there. They are lost. Why? because they had no base to begin with. They took the base of what made all these films work and made them great through all the way up until probably Civil War. They took that base and shredded it, filling it full of politics and other garbage that basically destroyed the foundation. When you have no base, whether it's a person, a company, or a film, when you have no established base, that's right. When you don't have that, you essentially have no foundation, nothing to stand on, and everything is crumbling beneath you. And that's what's happening. And the only way to get it back is to get rid of the people that are doing it. But that starts at the very top of Disney. Anyway.
Peace.
The lip sync on
Tom,
culture is off. Okay.
You gonna chime in on this? Do you think a bit of breathing room will save Marvel?
I honestly, I'm not trying to be contrarian at all, but I do believe there is secretly behind the scenes scrambling to try and somehow salvage this. We've been hearing enough rumors now, and because they're not going to ever admit publicly that there was any problems or that there's going to be some kind of reset.
No.
And that's why I don't think Deadpool is going to be some kind of major reset. And that's why I still say, well, people are saying, oh, they're using him to fix the MCU. It's like, notice the stuff they're showing him on the screen there is not the stuff we want him to fix. They're showing all the stuff we loved, remember. So I don't think anything is going to change when it's all said and done at the end of that movie either. Yeah. But what I do see is that they are doing all this reshooting. They're trying to put things out there that evoke the old Marvel stuff with like X-Men 97. And then we got like the teaser for Fantastic Four, which actually looks like what a lot of us would like the Fantastic Four to look like. And it sounds like it's going to be set in the 60s. So those kind of things sound like they're going the direction that they should be going in. My issue is, and this is where I agree with you, where it's not going to work, is they're still not going to fix anything. They're just going to put a coat of polish on it that makes it look shiny to make you think you're getting something different, to make it look like you want it to look. But just like with the X-Men thing, I think that's going to be indicative of what's going forward. And that is they still don't understand what made these characters and stories popular to begin with. Just because it may look like the Fantastic Four, I don't think it's going to be the Fantastic Four. Kind of like how, even though X-Men 97 kind of looks like the 90s X-Men cartoon on the surface, once you start digging deeper, you come to learn that that's not the case. And I know we talked a little bit about that already here, so I'm not going to dig into all that stuff. But yeah, no, I don't think it's going to fix much. But I do believe there is a panic button that has been pushed, and they are scrambling behind the scenes to try to figure this out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah. Andre?
I think that Tom is right. I do believe that they are trying, but I'm not very optimistic because they're not going hard enough, because all of the projects are still happening. Now, if they wanted to make a powerful statement here, they needed to scrap Agatha all along and never release it. They needed to scrap the upcoming like the female-centric Black Spider and Iron Man series, or like Ironheart. Yeah, they needed to scrap that. They needed to scrap the new Captain America movie, and they needed to never film the what's the other thing? The other team, the wannabe Suicide Squad.
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Thank you. They need to scrap that. They need to scrap these things. They need to not happen, because these are projects that no good can come from. These projects originated when Marvel was at its absolute worst. The core stories comes from when the MCU was at its absolute worst. Whatever Deadpool is going to do will not affect these movies. They're going to be more horrible Phase 4/Phase 5 productions that can only alienate the audience, and they're still happening. They're still coming. If Marvel really wanted to change things, it would be very, very easy, and the strike is the perfect opportunity. Just stop everything that they have going, cancel stuff, do a SAS lot, do this tax credit, and work with what you've got. Okay, you've got X-Men 97. Maybe there's enough there to salvage that. You got Deadpool. That should be fun. Now, scrap everything else, do a clean slate from there. Rush in Secret War, do whatever needs to be done, and then continue from the Fantastic Four onwards. Get that script right. There's time for that, and then move on with a brand new direction and scrap all of these other horrible leftovers from Marvel's worst period. Unless they do that, there's no retooling happening. I mean, they say it right there. Yeah, they may be trying, but they're not trying hard enough, because the problem here is that from their point of view, nothing was wrong. They thought that they did everything great. It's just that the audience didn't respond to it. So if they didn't think they did anything wrong, how can they reboot? How can they retool?
Yeah. No,
You needed someone else to, like, Feige has to go. You need someone else. Like he was given the power to do this. It was only from phase 4 onwards that he had full control, and he botched it. He dropped the ball.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I mean. That the rot is there, and that they got financial rot because they've got shareholders that back them. You know, BlackRock. That means that they won't ever change anything.
They have something worse. They have creative rot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is what I mean. A multitude, right? Like they got ideologues deep within the company on
and they have never admitted that they went wrong. They thought that they genuinely thought that Quantumania was a great movie, and then the audience just didn't respond to it. I mean, we had like this chick who wrote the MCU book. I mean, she came out and said that like all of the interesting revelations weren't in that book; they were in podcast and stuff she did to promote it.
They actually thought they thought it was a hit. They're like, we've got a hit.
They thought it was going to be a hit, which only goes to show that they have completely lost their barometer. They're out of touch with the audience. So are they back in line with the audience now? No, they aren't, because if they were, they wouldn't proceed with any of these projects.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Anyway, Nick. Oh, we got your thoughts straight away, didn't we? Actually.
Yeah. I don't have anything. I agree with what everybody else is saying as well. So
yeah, Jesus, is it ever?